Three, two, one. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast. My name is Ro Thompson. Man, I tell you, we got a special guest on the podcast today. We've got none other than my guy, Rich Roberts of the Junior Golf USA digital platform. And man, I'll tell you, before we get into everything, I want to, of course, wish everybody well. There's a couple of big tournaments this weekend. And I think we've got the Henry in Spartanburg this weekend, and then we got the Jimmy Anderson over in Greenville, North Carolina. So good luck to all the juniors that are playing in tournaments this weekend. So without any further delay, I do want to bring up my co-host today, my guest today on the podcast, Mr. Rich Roberts. How you doing today, Rich?
I'm doing great, Ro. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you. I'm happy to be part of your junior golf podcast series.
Hey, listen, thank you. We've been going strong for almost 3 years now, and it's amazing that you've got so many people that's really into junior golf, like yourself, myself, and all of my previous guests. I mean, it's just amazing that people just dive in, they give their life to junior golf, and that's they sleep, bleed, breathe junior golf. You know what I mean?
We all have a passion for it. We all get into it at different times. Some of us are parents who play golf all our life, and our kids start to play golf. Others, I've played with junior golfers whose parents have never touched a golf club.
That's correct. That's correct. So, Rich, before we get into all the junior golf stuff and the digital platform, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'll be happy to do that. I'm an architect by profession. I fortunately have been retired for about 6 to 8 years, so gave me a chance to focus on my new love, which was junior golf. I've been an athlete all my life. I was a gymnast as a young kid in high school and in college, but I've played golf my entire life. I grew up in a golfing family with grandparents and parents who both played golf all the time. And some of my fondest memories from being a junior were on the golf course with my grandfathers. And it was a game that you could play with them and they could beat you for a long time. One of my proudest moments, and it took until high school, was when I finally beat my mom at golf. It wasn't easy. She was a good golfer. She's had 8 hole-in-ones in her life. Wow. So she was a legit golfer. Right. But my passion after college was golf, and that's when I really started to play and became a serious, somewhat serious golfer. I was a single-digit handicapper after the college, stayed that way for a long time, played the game, but knew that, I needed to improve. Right. There's no way to perfect this golf game. It's tough. And it's not a game of perfect. You'll never get perfect at golf. I don't care who you are.
Correct.
If you're a bowler, you can shoot a 300.
Right.
If you're a basketball player, you can go 20 for 20. But I can tell you this, as a golfer, you're not going to get 18 birdies in a round of golf. It's just not in the cards, as they say.
No, this is tough. This is tough. So you now, Rich, were you a competitive junior, or you didn't get quite competitive?
I was not a competitive golfer. No, okay. I was a 16 handicap when I graduated college. I joined a club. I was in Syracuse, New York, and within one summer, I was an 8 handicap, and I stayed at an 8. Got down to a 4 once, but 8 seemed to be my number. So I could play, but not like these kids play today.
Gotcha. Well, listen. So let's get into the digital platform. Now, I know it started off as Junior Golf Magazine. What inspired you to start the magazine? And of course, you converted it over the last couple of years. But talk to us about the start of the Junior Golf Magazine.
Yeah, that's easy to say. After I retired in 2014, right, I was very involved at that point with my son's golf, and we were traveling really all over the country playing tournaments,
Mhm.
created great friendships with golfing friends, friends that my son made. We made friends with the parents. It was kind of a group. And a few of us got together one night and just were talking about things and said, there's so many junior golfers out there, but there's no magazine for junior golfers. There's Sports Illustrated, there's junior tennis, there's junior swimming, but there's nothing on golf. And I said, well, why don't we make a magazine? So I said, okay. So 6 months later,
Yeah.
we launched a print issue of a magazine.
That's
Over
impressive.
the course of 2 years, we published 14 issues of Junior Golf Magazine in print form, had a national distribution, but it never caught on.
Got
The kids didn't want a magazine. I mean, even Sports Illustrated today is either monthly or only twice a month, and it's a smaller print, it's a smaller size magazine. So print magazine was
Out.
going away, and I didn't know it. I was going to buck the trend. And I
Right.
was going to create a magazine, and we did. And it was a blast. It was a passion. And when you have a passion for something, sometimes you have blinders on, and you continue down the path maybe a little bit longer than you should have.
Right.
Fortunately, after a year and a half, almost 2 years, we saw the writing on the wall and said, look, we've got to switch and move to a digital platform. The
Right.
kids want instant information. They want quick information. They'd rather get an article once or twice a week than a whole magazine once every 2 months. So the magazine was great. It served its purpose, but the digital platform, which we now call Junior Golf USA, and you
Gotcha.
can find it at juniorgolfusa.net, is all digital. We send out 3 articles every week.
Okay.
We've been doing that since May of 2018. We now, in our archives, have close to 450 articles that we published
Okay.
that our members who join Junior Golf USA get free access to all 450 articles, as well as the digital access, the digital library, if you will, of the digital magazines.
Okay.
We have a one-time administrative fee of $10 just to sign up, give us your email.
That's
and then
awesome.
you have access to all of this. And
That's awesome.
it kind of, makes it a little easier. We just have to do one article every few days. We have authors that submit content to us.
Nice.
That wrote for the magazine still write for us now. We
Wow.
pick up articles online that are shared. USGA gives us stuff on some of their AM events.
Okay.
PGA just gave us an article on the PGA Junior League that just concluded last week at Greyhawk, that Team North Carolina happened to win this year for the first time. So
Yes. Yes.
that was nice. So that's kind of where we started with the magazine.
Okay.
And how we transferred and transitioned to the all digital platform.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, is your your digital media, is it what's the primary objective? Is it for parents? Is it for juniors? Just kind of give us.
People ask that a lot.
Yes.
And it's for both. Some
Okay.
articles are more for the parent, and if they wish to share it with the junior because it's appropriate for the junior, they will. I mean, junior golfers span from 6 years old to 18 years old.
Correct.
You can't write an article that an 18-year-old wants to read and a 6-year-old can understand,
That's right.
and vice versa. So we mix it up, and some articles are not meant for all the readers. Some are. We'll have some features on golf resorts
Okay.
or on technologies or from college coaches. But when we have an article on recruiting,
Right.
that's for high school players. When we have an article on nutrition and what you should eat on the golf course, that's for everybody. When we have an article on sunscreen, that's for everybody. And we also don't know if our subscribers, if you want to call them that, or our members
Uh-huh.
are parents or our juniors, because we
Right.
just get an email address. So it's up to them to share it kind of internally within
Okay.
their family. And we let them do that. And we want to cover all ranges of topics. We don't want to be just a magazine for 8-year-olds. or just a magazine for 16-year-olds. We kind of want to be an umbrella
Right.
for, we used to say that the magazine and the digital platform was for all things junior golf. We wanted to be the single source for all things junior golf. And, we have subscribers internationally. I
Okay.
don't know how they find us, but they found
Pick
us.
it up.
Believe me, not many, but we have some, and it's rewarding.
Right. And how many members do you have now, Rich?
We have about 2,200 members through our email distribution. We have another 2,600 on Instagram,
Okay.
and then another maybe 400 or 500 on Facebook.
Okay, that's awesome. And we'll get
And it grows as all social media grows by itself.
Right, organically. Right. That's good. So describe your experience, Rich, with junior parents and the junior golf journey. What was your experience?
Well, I don't think we have enough time to talk about junior golf parents. And I'll tell you,
Right.
I've been one, and I've been one that you talk about not wanting to be,
Yes.
and I'm growing into one that you do want to be.
Right.
And it is very tough to be outside the ropes, as we say. We all start out as what is affectionately known as caddy daddy.
Right.
We're all out there caddying for our kid,
Right.
inside the ropes, being there for every shot and watching it and knowing what's going on and talking to your child. Then we gravitate to being outside the ropes where we're just a spectator. And that's probably the hardest part, because you're away from the action, you can't control it, but you feel all the emotions and all the highs and lows that your kid is going through, and you feel for them every time they make a shot. And you can't be out there on the sidelines throwing your hat on the ground or stamping your foot or turning around.
Rich, are you talking about me?
I might be,
Right.
because that's every parent of a junior golfer.
Right.
And your child is playing golf and focusing on golf, but
They
trust
try.
me, they see everything that you do on the sidelines. They'll
Yes.
tell you after the round, I saw you on the 5th hole after I missed that putt and you didn't look very happy. And they
They see
notice it.
everything.
And
Hey, Rich, it's funny you say that. I always, my wife said, hey, my son, our son saw you on the 5th hole. I said, well, why was he looking at me? He's supposed to be concentrating on golf.
right. They know what's going on.
Right, they do.
And then eventually your child gets old enough to where you don't even go and watch anymore. Sometimes you just chaperone and the bank, and you let them go out and play. You stay in the clubhouse with your friends and you watch on live scoring if you can bear to watch on live scoring, or you just wait until the end and find out what their score is. And you ask them when they come in how they played. And if they tell you, I played as well as I could today, then they played a perfect round of golf. That's as good as it can get if they say they played as well as they could.
That's right. Well, Rich, I got this thing.
Comment.
I have this thing now where, I may walk the first 9, and if it's a good 9, I'll keep going. But if it's a bad 9, I'll just go to the clubhouse and wait until the round is over.
Right.
And they normally play better on the back 9 than they did.
But then they're going to start to tell you, well, I guess you shouldn't come at all, because
Right.
it's bad when you're there and good when you're not there. And the other
Right.
times I have a friend whose son tells him he plays better when he's there, but the father doesn't want to be there all the time. But the kid says he plays better when he's there, and dad has to be there.
Yeah. I don't
So
think
it works both ways.
Yeah, I don't think we can get it 100% right.
No. And every kid is different, every parent is different. And you just introduced me to a friend of yours who wrote a book about the drive home.
Yes.
We all
Mark
had drives home from
Mark
golf.
McKinney. Yeah, Mark McKinney.
And the drive home is one of the most difficult times in golf. The best thing to do is to let your child fall asleep and not talk.
Right. And that's typically what happens, because nobody, it's like quiet, sometimes the parents upset, sometimes the kids are upset. And like you said, it's best to not just say anything,
And it's not just sometimes, it's many times.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Rich. What's been your favorite article or piece that's been posted in your digital media?
That's
All
that's a
time, all time favorite.
I think this goes back about 6 years ago when I was doing some stuff with Brandon Johnson, who's the senior architect for Arnold Palmer Design Group.
Okay.
And I became friendly with him, and he and I thought about short courses being amenities to resorts and places that can attract families to come play with their kids. And it was an idea that not many people had thought about.
Right.
And there were a couple of golf courses that were starting to do it. One just north of Orlando, where you could play a 3-hole loop, a 6-hole loop, or a 9-hole loop. And then it was designed so that the 3 par 3s could become a par 5. One day they would make it a par 3 course, one day they would make it a regular course.
Okay.
We were ahead of time, and now short courses are the rave. They're
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Right.
They are so successful. And I
Mhm.
like to say we were ahead of the curve. We had the concept when people didn't think it was a good use of real estate. That, how could you have a golf course and put a golf course up there that you're not going to charge money for? How's it going to attract people? Well,
Right.
look at what the Cradle has done for Pinehurst. I
Correct.
just read an article this morning that Stream Song's building this awesome 18-hole course
Mhm.
called Chain. I happen to have a magazine. This was one of the covers with Tiger on it.
Okay.
He went out and opened his par 3 course outside of Houston.
Okay.
And now short courses are everywhere. Bandon Dunes.
Right.
They're popping
Everywhere.
up in Europe. So that's probably the topic that's most dear to me because it's just such a beautiful topic. And for people who just want to go out and play for an hour, they go out and play. You don't have to bring clubs. You don't have to bring golf shoes. You can rent it or borrow a club from. I know at the Cradle they have clubs there for
Right.
people.
You can rent. Right.
So that's probably one of the best ones that I had out there. We did a interview with Tiger's team out at his learning center in Anaheim. That was
Okay.
really a treat. We did one with Ernie Els' Center for Autism in
Oh,
Florida.
yeah, I heard about that.
That was very special.
Right.
And
Because he has a child that's autistic, right?
yes,
Yes, that's right.
I've been fortunate enough to go to drive, chip, and putt 3 or 4 times in the Augusta Women's AM twice. And, I wouldn't have been able to go to Augusta and walk the course without being involved in junior golf. And
Right.
they opened their arms to me because I was bringing something unique to the industry. And there's over 2 million junior golfers out there.
Wow.
I'm trying to reach all of them somehow. Maybe through your podcast, I'll reach all 2 million of them.
Maybe, right.
We'll see. And then you and I will
awesome.
be very happy.
I'm glad you shared that number with me, Rich, because I didn't know it was 2 million junior golfers out there. That's a big
And
number.
that's just in the United States.
Wow.
It's happening, all over. And I've heard that we're now looking to start looking at a junior national golf team for the United States. Many of the other countries,
Already doing it.
Australia, Italy, Sweden already have these national programs for juniors, and we don't. But the USGA has taken a position to try to start one in Pinehurst, which could be great.
Yeah, right. Not too far from you, right?
Nope, just an hour door to door from me.
So, Rich, let me ask you this: what would you say to the junior parents to make the journey smoother?
Well, understand that it's going to be a long journey,
right,
and understand that you want your child to dictate to you how that journey is going to develop.
right.
Let your child tell you, I only want to be a recreational golfer, or I want to be a high school golfer, or I want to be a competitive golfer and try to get on the PGA Tour.
Right.
Let it let it come from them, and then you can embrace that and you can grow that. If it comes from you, they're not going to want to do it. It needs to be their journey that you're participating in. And understand that, it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be frustrating for your child, but the rewards are great. Bonding and the relationships between your child and you through that caddy daddy phase that I was talking about are things that you're going to remember for a lifetime. I still remember shots that my son hit 10 years ago. As vividly as it was 10 years ago, I can remember it now. And there just were some really fun times and unique times. I remember on a couple holes with an elevated fairway, my son was small. I had to lift him up so that he could get his sight lines so that he would know where to hit the ball.
Right.
He wasn't tall enough to see over the crest of the fairway.
Correct.
And just great memories. You bring your family with you when you travel for golf. Let's turn them into golf vacations around your tournament schedule.
That's right.
And you meet some friends that, I hope some of the kids that we played with in junior golf make it to the PGA Tour, and I can go out there in 10 years and
watch
go
it.
watch them.
That's
And
right.
that would just be a blast to rekindle those golfing friendships at the next level.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. So Rich, let me ask you this. Who are some of your favorite current PGA Tour players right now?
Well, I'm not on any real bandwagons, but you have to love Tiger and what he's done,
Right.
and what he's been through.
Right.
Not only is he talented, but his desire to compete, his perseverance. I've had the pleasure of meeting him twice and talking to him. I'll tell you, each conversation was less than a minute. It wasn't very long, but he was very personable. And this new kid, Tom Kim, that everybody's
won a tournament,
talking about now, is the latest rave. Hopefully he continues to do what he's doing, because he's energizing the game a little bit. He's bringing some fun back into it. But all the 25 to 30-year-old guys now that are just starting to become friends on the course and off the course. When I grew up, golfers wouldn't talk to each other. It was too cutthroat and too competitive. Even Tiger, when he started out, he wasn't giving putting lessons to Justin Thomas when he started out.
No.
But now he will. And the camaraderie amongst the current players
Better.
is great.
That's good.
So I don't have really, a favorite golfer that I like to watch or only watch or root for. I'm a sucker. I root for the game, and I root for
Love the game.
Close competition, and something that comes down to the 72nd hole, like it did last week in Las Vegas with Cantlay and Kim. That's the type of golf that's exciting.
There you go. All right. So why should parents and juniors subscribe to Junior Golf USA?
Well, because you'll become my friend.
Right.
But seriously, the information that we present 3 times a week is quality content.
Okay.
It's informative for you to read some of the articles while you're on your journey, while you're on this path in junior golf.
Right.
We tell you some things that you can share with your junior. If they hear it from me, or hear it from somebody other than their parent, it resonates. It could be the exact same thing that the dad or mom told their son or daughter last week, but he or she doesn't want to hear it if it comes from the parent. If they see it from an independent outside source, use that information, and you don't have to worry about telling your kid, I've been trying to tell you the same thing and you wouldn't listen to me. just let him or her read it. It's very true that the kids want you to think they're getting the information and they're processing it, and that is not just a mandate from a parent. And you're smiling because you have a son who plays competitive golf and you know what it's like.
Yes.
That's how That's how kids are, and they want to be independent. They want to march to their own beat.
Yes.
And you just push them a little bit, and you may know that it's the same thing that you told them, but they don't. They don't need to know it.
Right. It's funny you say that because, you know, just okay. So for the last 3 or 4 weeks, my son's been going through some mental performance sessions. And just about 2 months ago, my wife and I, we were talking to him. We were saying, "Hey, John, why don't you have a goal of 68, 70?" Right? And he said, "Oh, that's too much pressure. I can't, no, I can't do that." So after 2 mental performance sessions, now his goal is 68. I'm like, son,
That sounds familiar.
that's all we were trying to get you to do is, aim higher, have a higher goal, and shoot for the best. So, but again, as parents, we have to let the coaches do what they do. Just as you just as
Right.
you described.
And you have to bring in all of these coaches. Junior golf isn't just swing and talent. I could tell you, I can stand on a range,
Yes.
see these guys who can't miss a ball. They're just striping it. And
Yes.
you know that they're going to play well. And then they come in and they shoot 78, and you wonder how. It's because they can't take it to the golf course. They don't have the mental composure. They don't have the
Right.
course management. They don't have the fitness to log 5 hours carrying their bag in 90-degree weather.
Yeah. I got
They have to be able to play the golf course. That's another, recommendation or another thought that I would give to parents is spend as much time as possible on the golf course, not on the range. You're
right.
not playing on the range. Your goal is to be on the golf course and shoot the lowest score you can. Spend as much time as possible on the golf course.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Rich, because I got a good friend of mine, Ken Stiles, out in California. His son plays for San Jose State University, and he told me, because he kind of mentors me, and he told me, he said, "Ro, you can't skimp on anything. You have to make sure he has a fitness coach. He has to have a mental performance coach. You're gonna have to open that wallet. Yeah, you're gonna have to open that wallet and make sure he has all these things." So you're exactly right, Rich.
It is a financial commitment. Junior golf is not an inexpensive sport. Playing golf is not an inexpensive sport, but if you're able to do it, it's so worth it.
It is. So, Rich, how can our listeners find you? Social media? What's your website?
Well, social media. Let's see, on Instagram, we're called Junior Golf Mag, MAG, because we set it up when we had the magazine. Facebook is Junior Golf USA. And then my website is juniorgolfusa.net.
Okay.
And that's where you can go and click on the Players Club, how to join. We charge, as I told you earlier, a one-time $10 admin fee just to get you up into our database. And there are no more fees after that. And you have free access to everything we've done since May of 2016. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to diving into the digital media myself, and learning and sharing it with my son. And man, we from the Junior Golf Podcast, man, we want to thank you for coming on. It's amazing. Again, you never know, you have other people that really have a passion and really take it to another level, not just junior golf and being a parent on the course, but have platforms outside of the junior golf space. So that's really good. It's really great meeting you.
Well, I can tell you that, my passion grew out of me being an avid golfer, and then my son wanted to play golf on his own.
Right.
Some of the best times of my life were with him on the golf course. And, thank you for what you're doing with your podcast. Obviously, your passion drove you to create that. Yeah. Similar to how my passion drove me to create what I'm doing.
Right.
And like they say, if you love what you're doing, it's not work. And it's just a joy to do it. And I've watched a couple of your podcasts. I saw the one with Hurricane Junior Tour and Mario Conti,
Conte, yes.
and I'm gonna go back and try to watch a few others, including mine, and see how it looked.
Hey, listen, great. But listen, we're glad to have you. Let's stay in touch, and
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully we can get a chance to link up at one of these junior tournaments one day. Okay.
Absolutely. I'd love to see your son play. So,
All right. All right. Take
all
care.
right, Ro.
All right, Rich.
My pleasure.
Have a good one.
Okay, thanks.
All right.